Financial advice doesn't have to be complicated, yet it doesn't always seem that way. You've got the pundits on television, the talking heads telling you what to buy and when to sell.
What's your take on all of this?
With all the graphics and colors, it can seem more like a game show than investing.
Come on down!
And then there's a lot of misinformation out there. And it doesn't help that we're not taught this stuff in school.
That's stupid!
And then you add in meme stocks, cryptocurrencies, and whatever those finance bros are pushing, and you can start to feel left behind. But what if I told you that almost everything you needed to know could fit on a 3x5 index card? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. My name is Tyler Lloyd, and this is my YouTube channel about living a happier, healthier, more sustainable life. And part of that is personal finance. And I've distilled down some really good advice that all fits on an index card, 10 points to keep in mind that I'm going to be sharing with you today. But before I do that, I need to give credit where credit is due. I came across this in 2013 from an image of this index card written by Harold Pollack, who later went on to write a book about the information on this index card, all the financial advice that you would really need to know. But I've taken his index card and made a few edits to it. Let's get into my index card, and number one would be to save and invest at least 20% of your money. A lot of financial experts say between 10 and 15% for retirement. I say at least 20, and more is better. Right now, my wife and I are hovering right around a 50% savings rate because we are trying to retire early, or at the very least, build a good financial cushion for ourselves. So save at least 20%, more is better. And next on the list would be build up an emergency account to cover 3+ months of expenses. This wasn't on the original card, but I think it's important to have that nice cash cushion sitting in a dedicated savings account that you don't touch, only for emergencies and true emergencies. Losing your job, your car breaks down and you need big repairs because you need that vehicle to get to work. Maybe medical expenses, maybe a tree falls on your house and your insurance doesn't cover all of it. So build up an emergency account to cover 3+ months of expenses if and when shit hits the fan. Number 3 on the list would be to max out your 401k or similar accounts. And not everybody's going to have a 401k, and those that have retirement accounts might not necessarily have a 401k. I myself, as a federal employee, have what's called the TSP, but these retirement accounts largely work the same. There is a little bit of nuance, especially for people working in local government and the public sector. But don't miss out on these savings vehicles, especially if you have a company match. That is money that they will match you. So if, let's say it's 5%, if you put in 5%, they're going to give you 5% on top of that. That is free money, and a lot of people don't get that match. So definitely invest in your 401k or similar account, and at a minimum get the match, but I say max it out. Max out your 401k while you can. Number 4 would be to maximize tax advantage savings vehicles. This includes a Roth IRA, a SEP, an FSA or HSA. You're going to have one or another, and these are for medical expenses. 529 accounts for education if you have children. And all of these tax advantage savings vehicles just have some sort of built-in ability where it grows the money tax-free and it can come out tax-free, or it goes in pre-tax and lowers your taxes like a 401k. So just educate yourself a little bit about these and make sure that you're putting your money into accounts that are going to be working for you. Now, after you have maxed out your 401k, you've made use of these other tax advantage savings vehicles, open up a brokerage account. So those other accounts are for really retirement for the most part, but a brokerage account is more for the shorter term. If you wanted to retire early, this could be money that you could draw from without touching those traditional retirement accounts. And this can be where you can buy, individual stocks if you wanted to. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but open up yourself a brokerage account. I use M1 Finance because I really like them and it matches my investment style. If you want to check out M1 Finance, I'll have a link down below, and if I can find some sort of sign-up bonus perk, I will share that as well. For investing in those various accounts, buy inexpensive, broad-based mutual funds such as VTSAX. That's the one that I buy, but this is not financial advice. I'm just saying buy broad-based index funds. VTX is one of them, but there are several different ones from the various financial institutions. But what it is essentially, it's buying the whole market. On the whole, the market has always gone up. You're buying the whole market, so you're buying both the winners and losers, but it's a self-cleansing fund, which means that as companies essentially fail and drop out of the market, new ones replace them. And that's why the market is always going up as we're building capital and growing the economy. And it's a little bit safer, or at least easier than picking those individual stocks. You don't have to hope that you're picking the next Tesla, the next Amazon. You're just buying the market, and it's much easier. And these fundamentals come from the book Simple Path to Wealth, which I did a review on, if you want to check that out. Number 7 would be to pay your credit card balance in full every single month. Credit cards have very, very high interest rates on them, 18% plus interest rates. So I like using my credit card so I can get the points and use the perks, but pay it off in full. And if you're using a credit card, see what the perks are that you have available to you, how you can use those points. But don't be using a credit card and buying a bunch of stuff for the points, thinking that you're getting extra value. Don't confuse points for dollars. Don't be trading dollars for airline miles. You're better off having dollars. But if you're going to buy something anyway, it's a need, a necessity, something you're already going to buy, use a credit card. Get some of the purchase protections that come with a credit card and get the cash back or various points. Use it to your advantage, but don't think that you're gaming the system. They're making money off of you. Number 8 would be to pay attention to financial fees and avoid actively managed funds. Now, I just made a video where I talk about the 10 things that I don't waste money on, and this was one of them, financial fees related to actively managed funds and financial advisors. But if you're going to someone to invest your money, you need to be weary of the things that they're investing your money in. There can be a lot of hidden fees, not just the upfront fee for working with the financial advisor, but the funds that they're putting your money in. If you're going to someone who's working for a big giant global bank, they're probably going to be peddling the products that they have put together, which could very well have lots of fees that are taking away your money over the long term and reducing the amount of interest that you can earn. So be very aware of those fees. And I would just educate yourself a little bit and invest in those broad-based index funds rather than handing your money to someone else. Doesn't take much. And speaking of those financial advisors, number 9 would be only work with fiduciary financial advisors. If anyone tries to sell you whole life insurance, run. So I added this last little bit on there about whole life insurance because it's something that these quote unquote financial advisors sometimes push on people, saying that it's a great investment vehicle. It's not. Just do a quick Google search and you'll learn a little bit more about whole life insurance. I'm not saying you shouldn't get life insurance. Look into something called term life insurance. That's what my wife and I have. But when you're going to a financial advisor, make sure that they have a fiduciary responsibility, because that's just saying that they're going to invest your money like they would be investing their own money, that they're looking out for your own best interest. Just because you're going to someone and you shouldn't just trust them right off the bat that they're going to do the right thing, but make sure that they have a fiduciary responsibility. See that in writing, because I've talked to some people and I've asked this question and they've sort of said, yeah, sure, of course. That doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence. So make sure that you're only working with financial advisors that have that fiduciary responsibility. And last but not least on my list would be to promote social insurance programs and donate to organizations that help others. Personal finance, focuses on the self, making sure that you have the financial security for yourself, your loved ones, your family, but make sure that if you are in the fortunate position to be saving that 20+% of your money, maxing out all of your retirement accounts, that you're also looking to others and trying to help them out, those who aren't as fortunate. Because, honestly, we're all, a bad accident away from racking up a whole bunch of medical bills that could put us in debt for the rest of our life. Like, that's, just the truth of it. A lot of people don't like to recognize that they're, essentially lucky, and that they have a lot of like institutional privilege, but that's the truth. So if you have the means, promote those social insurance programs at the federal level, but even at your local level, aid organizations that are looking out for the homeless, people who are a little bit down on their luck at the moment, to help them maybe with rent assistance, finding a job. Look out for others. I'm all about self-improvement and personal development, but I think it should be to build yourself up so that you can help others. Let me know what you thought about my index card. Did I miss anything? There's some stuff that I thought about putting on here that I didn't, especially things about mortgages, like just because they'll give you a loan for it doesn't mean you can afford it. Some stuff about cryptocurrency was very tempting. I do own some cryptocurrency, but it's a very small amount of my portfolio, and it's mainly just to dabble in it. But if there's anything that you think should have been on this card, if you agree, if you disagree, let me know in a comment down below, and I wish you the very best. Thank you for watching. If you want to watch more videos, check out one of these, and if you want to subscribe, you can click my head that should be floating here if you're watching on a suitable device. Bye.